All right, President Trump joined Hannity for the first Oval Office interview of his second term, taking time to chastise Biden for handing down those last-minute pardons to his family.
I was given the option. They said, sir, would you like to pardon everybody, including yourself? I said, I'm not going to pardon anybody. We didn't do anything wrong. This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And you know, the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him.
Tiffany Marie Robinson is a political strategist and the host of the TMB Problems podcast, and she joins me now. Tiffany Marie, good morning to you. So you just heard Donald Trump there, who's been accused of every crime under the sun. And then there's Joe Biden, who spent 50 years portraying himself as this humble middle-class guy, and yet he's the one who issued these protective pardons on his way out the door. And you know, I was thinking about this. This could be one of the reasons why Donald Trump won the election, because it speaks to the issue of authenticity. You know what you're getting with Donald Trump, and that's how he is going to govern. So what do you think about all of this?
I think you're absolutely correct. I think at the end of the day, this comes down to integrity. And Donald Trump, you know, he might say things that make people mad or a little out there sometimes, but what you see is what you get. And at the end of the day, this comes down to an integrity issue. And the left and the Democratic Party clearly have one. They have had one for quite a while. And, you know, they're virtueless people. What kind of president in the last 15 minutes in office goes through his own personal family and just hands out pardons like they're candy? It's so unpresidential and just really taints the office and I think his legacy, you know, if he really had one to begin with.
Well,
but yeah. I think Trump actually was right.
Yeah, well, so at the end of the clip that we just played between Donald Trump and Sean Hannity, the president did say the sad thing is Joe Biden didn't pardon himself. And then you have House Speaker Mike Johnson also saying this yesterday about a potential plan for the future. Watch this.
It probably proves the point, the suspicion that, you know, they call it the Biden crime family. If they weren't the crime family, why do they need pardons, right? Look, there's a lot of attention that's going to be paid to this, and I think that is appropriate, and we will be looking at it as well.
Okay, so it sounds like he's teasing an investigation, and Republicans have gone down that road before. Is it something that you would want to see again?
I think that there's a big difference with how this would be handled, because unlike the left, we don't use the government to go after someone with a specific last name. This is clearly, you know, it's more of a where there's smoke, there's fire, not let's look for smoke and then make smoke and then pretend there's a fire. And I think that there have been some egregious crimes. I think that whatever is going on with, you know, the China issue, especially through the Hunter Biden allegations, there's been a lot of very suspicious financial activities that I think might be worth investigating, especially if they ever, you know, were a threat to our national security. That's really what this comes down to. It's a national security threat that, you know, I think it's a lot more important than hush money to a former porn star. Okay,
so first week of Donald Trump's second term in office, which means executive orders is the phrase of the week. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is weighing in on this. Listen.
Is day one already trying to shred the foundational documents of American society and try to end birthright citizenship. We don't have to listen to him. It's illegal. We don't have to treat this seriously. It's a joke.
Okay, so I wanted to play that because while some Democrats are cooperating, others are not. And some of what Donald Trump is trying to do is already facing legal challenges. So how does this all play out?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, well, first of all, I'm always curious as to how someone like AOC gets elected to Congress. You know, it's just like, have you read history? Do you understand how the Constitution works? There are certain, you know, checks and balances set in place that allow our government to function properly. And you can't just randomly decide to not obey the law. That's not how this works. You see this going on with the things that Tom Homan's facing in terms of deportation and border control, where there seems to be some random magical thought that we can just ignore this if you're an elected official. The American people voted for a mandate with this election. We were very loud. We were very clear. We won the popular vote. We are asking for American first policies that are in line with not just our foundation, but with all of our documents that are the basic, you know, fundamentals of what America is and what America means. And so I think at the end of the day, it's one thing to go on your little Instagram or TikTok or whatever and just spout random emotional thoughts, but it's quite another to actually know the law.
Tiffany, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great morning. We appreciate it.
You too. Thanks.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.